something coming up for a vote about our property taxes, which DeSantis has said he wants to do away with all property taxes. I don't see that happening as easily as he likes to make it sound. There's a big process they got to go through to get it all done, and the voting coming up for that is coming up very, very soon. And I can tell you right now that almost every county commissioner, Wildwood, Lake, it doesn't make a difference. They're all going to be against it because they got to come up with a system that's going to make up for that income loss. Wildwood commissioners approved a resolution Monday night opposing property tax reform that would damage the city's revenue. The action came as state legislators prepare to discuss the potential property tax relief referendum for the November general election ballot. Florida's House of Representatives approved a proposal that would exempt all homestead property, exempt non-school taxes, and the Senate is expected to consider it in a special session this week. More than 41% of the city's revenue comes from property taxes, and Wildwood has reduced the tax rate since 2018 to the lowest amount among area counties. Tax dollars pay for public safety and infrastructure, including transportation, recreation, and general government services. Now, what do you think about that? What's the bond all about? The city commissioner wishes to express its concerns regarding real property tax reform without the legislature providing meaningful alternatives to fund essential public services and infrastructure. The resolution called for amendments to the plan that would provide funding alternatives. Mayor Ed Wolf said he doubts that opposing the referendum would succeed due to the attractiveness of the property tax cut. I don't see how we can win, he said. But Commissioner David Fontaine said it's important to oppose the reform. If we don't say nothing at all, silence is consent, he said. How are we going to replace the revenue? Commissioner Joe Elliott agreed. This is ill-conceived, he said. I think we need to stand firm and send a message. I think the voters will do that. They'll send the message. You have a job to do, and we just expect you, as voters, to do it. Sumter County is seeking temporary court injunctions to close 3 Lady Lake internet cafes that continue to operate 8 months after their permits were revoked. Cafe operators are appealing the revocations and say they were advised they may continue to operate during the appeal process. That makes sense. The cafes are Players Place, the Senior Social Center, and the Sunshine Arcade. All are on 441. Also known as Fish Games, internet cafes skirt Florida gambling laws by offering cash prizes to winners. Cafe operators claim they are legal because they are sweepstakes games, not slot machines. During undercover operations last July, sheriff's deputies reported illegal slot machines at 8 operating internet cafes. Commissioners revoked their annual operating permits in early September. After the revocation, the cafe operators filed petitions to continue operating during their appeals, but the court has not ruled on them. The cafes closed temporarily, then reopened, and were operating several weeks ago. The county maintained that continued operation is causing immediate and irreparable injury to the residents and property owners in the vicinity. Represented by Jacksonville attorney Kelly Mathis, 5 cafes have challenged the shutdown. Besides the Lady Lake cafes, they also include Dreamers Arcade and Big Shots of Bushnell and Lake Panisovsky. In court filings, the cafe operators claimed the county offered no proof that the machines were illegal. Machines were not seized as evidence. Under the permits, cafes were subject to monthly building code and safety inspections and had few violations. A 5-month investigation last year of the Valadigo Cafe, also in Sumter County, by the Florida Gaming Commission resulted in charges against the owner and 2 employees of money laundering, keeping a gambling house, and possession of illegal coin-operated devices. There was also another one shut down because somehow, some way, the owners ended up getting something like, I want to say it was over $100,000 of somebody's money, and I don't remember the whole story, but they've been on these cafes around here for several years. A villager faulted his flip-flops for a balance problem when he was arrested for charges of driving under the influence. Johnny Wesley Jameson, 59, of the village of Wellpoint, was driving a white Hyundai Palisade SUV at a high rate of speed about 9 p.m. Saturday in the area of County Road 466A and Canal Street, according to the Rush Department of Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Radar confirmed that the SUV was traveling at 61 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. During the traffic stop, a deputy noticed that Jameson's speech was slowed and slurred, and it appeared that he had been drinking. When asked if he had been consuming any alcohol, the California native became emotional and apologetic. He said he was sorry numerous times. He said he had had a couple of glasses of wine. He agreed to participate in field sobriety, but when he stepped out of the vehicle, he lost his balance and used the vehicle to support himself. He blamed his flip-flops. He struggled through field sobriety exercises and provided breath samples that registered .194 and .193 blood alcohol content. Jameson was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence and issued a ticket for speeding. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,000 bond. An intoxicated man wearing boxer briefs and no shoes showed up at the wrong house while visiting his parents in the Villages. A deputy responded to a home in the Villages regarding a possible burglary in progress at around 3 a.m. Tuesday, according to the arrest report of the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. Upon arrival, the deputy was greeted by a sight of 49-year-old Spencer Eden Burridge at the front door. He wore a red t-shirt, gray boxer briefs, without socks or shoes. The deputy immediately detained Burridge in the back of a patrol car. Burridge admitted he had been drinking and concluded he must have been at the wrong house. He has been staying with his parents on Flamingo Place at Creekside Landing near Lake Sumter Landing. The parents' home is about a mile away from the home where Burridge was found. After determining he had committed no crime, the deputy asked Burridge multiple times to step out of the patrol car so he could take off the handcuffs. Burridge instead stated, "Just take me to jail," even after being told he was not under arrest. The deputy then drove him to his parents' house and tried to let him go. Burridge refused to talk and tensed up his body so the deputy could not remove him from the patrol car. He also ignored verbal commands to get out of the squad car. He was subsequently arrested for resisting arrest and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $1,000 bond. Man, how drunk do you have to be when all he's trying to do is drop you off at your parents' house and you're saying, "No, I want to go to jail"? A highly intoxicated villager was arrested after allegedly kicking a deputy and calling him a pig. Deputies responded to the village of Rio Ranchero at 11:45 p.m. Sunday, according to the arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. A community watch driver had seen 68-year-old Jamie Lynn Bryan of historic side of the Villages yelling about going home as a man drove her around in the neighborhood on a golf cart. Deputy arrived on the scene to find Bryan seated in the golf cart and obviously highly intoxicated. She could not or would not say where she lived or how to get home. She also could not advise whether there was anybody at home that would be able to take care of her until she sobered up, the report said. Out of concern, Bryan was placed under a Markman Act, meaning that she was not free to leave until she was stabilized. She and the deputies waited for EMS to arrive to check on her, during which she kept leaning toward the side of the golf cart. The deputies had to hold her up so she would not fall out or hurt herself. Bryan started to get very angry and kicked one of the deputies in his right leg while the deputy tried to keep her propped up. When EMS arrived, she was still not being cooperative. She also kept calling the deputies names such as pig, the report said. Bryan was also arrested in August 2024 after screaming about a plot to kill President Trump in the Spanish Springs town square. Sumter County has enacted a burn ban in response to the heightened wildfire risk across the region. The restrictions is issued in accordance with the Sumter County Outdoor Burning Restriction Policy. The Keach-Byram Drought Index, KBDI, for Sumter County has reached 561, indicating significant drought conditions. Following consultation with the Florida Forest Service, county officials determined the current weather patterns and drought conditions are favorable for wildfire ignition and rapid spread. Recent forecasts do not show a trend toward improvement despite anticipated rainfall. And we haven't had much rainfall. An ignition in the wrong fuels at the wrong time can easily turn a small fire into a large one very rapidly. Restricting outdoor burning is a proactive step in preventing otherwise manageable fires from becoming catastrophic, said Fire Chief Rob Hansen. What is prohibited? The outdoor burning restriction prohibits. All outdoor burning includes yard debris, agricultural and silvicultural burning, campfires, bonfires, and pile burning, unless conducted or authorized by the Florida Forest Service. The use of discharge of fireworks, flares, sparklers, noisemakers, and other novelties as defined in Florida Statute 791.01. Exceptions and allowed activities. The following activities are allowed when they are done safely and and, when required, properly permitted. Outdoor cooking in public and private spaces that are specifically designed for grilling or cooking and can safely contain fire or heat. Industrial and commercial activities that involve fire, heat, and flames when a permit has been issued. Any activity involving fire or heat that would normally be a safe concern but is allowed because it has been approved through a local, state, or federal permit. Fire department training exercises that involve open flames, as long as they are conducted under controlled conditions and strictly for training purposes. Outdoor burning permitted by or conducted by the Florida Forest Service is not included in this restriction and will be regulated and controlled by them as a state agency. These activities are permitted because they include safety measures, proper equipment, oversight, and reduced risk to people and property. These restrictions will remain in effect until repealed by Sumter County Board of County Commissioners or the county administrator once the factors contributing to the enactment are reversed, relieved, or improved. Yeah, the drought is getting worse. Everyone in Florida's friendliest hometown is jockeying for position in a fervent fight to see President Trump on Friday in the Villages. The venue will be at the Buffalo Sports Complex in the Villages High School at Middleton. More than 17,000 tickets have been distributed. The gym can serve as an end-stage concert venue with temporary folding chairs, seating exceeding the capacity of 3,000 spectators, according to the VHS Athletic Department website. This could lead to a major disappointment for more than 10,000 ticket holders. RSVPing does not guarantee entrance. Once capacity is reached, the venue will be closed, and individuals will be turned away. Cheryl and James Fatig of the village of Shady Brook are among the hopeful. We are very excited to hopefully see our president. It will be an honor to listen to him speak in person. We love and respect him for bringing dignity and justice back to the White House, Cheryl Fatig said. Then there are the challenges of parking and traffic. Due to the limited roadway capacity in Middleton area, significant traffic delays are expected in, around, and surrounding areas. We strongly encourage residents and visitors to avoid the area if possible to help reduce congestion, the Sumter County Sheriff's Office said in a statement. The Sheriff's Office is also warning that parking will be very limited. There is also a long list of things that cannot be brought to Trump's event, and the list is aerosols, ammunition, animals other than service and guide dog. Bags. No bags are allowed. Balloons, bicycles, coolers, drones and other unmanned aircrafts, explosives, firearms, flammable liquids, glass, thermal or metal containers, laser pointers, mace, pepper spray, packages, rangefinders, recreational motorized mobility devices, selfie sticks, signs exceeding the size restrictions of 20 by 3 by 1/4 inch, structures, support for signs in placards, toy guns, weapons of any kind, any other items determined to be a potential safety hazard. Some of them I just don't understand are the things you can't have. The one where it talks about the recreational motorized mobility device. I guess I'm not sure what recreational motorized, I'm thinking like a motorized wheelchair, you know? I don't know. That one I don't get, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. And on the other end of the spectrum, I have to do it. Democrats are planning to send a strong message to President Trump upon his arrival Friday in the Villages. Participants are expected to gather at the four corners of the Marsh Bend Trail and Central Parkway roundabout from 9 a.m. to noon on Friday, May 1. This location is about 3/4 of a mile away from where President Trump will be speaking at the Villages High School in Middleton. The sponsoring organizations, including the Florida Democratic Party, the Democratic Club of the Villages, Central Florida Tri-State Indivisible, and Villages for Democracy, expect hundreds of golf carts to show up and park along 3 of the corners of the intersection. At the 4th corner, near the fire station, people will stand and sit. Carts will be decorated with signs, flags, and other patriotic paraphernalia. People will hold signs and blue patriotic umbrellas, all in the name of peaceful anti-Trump rally. Despite the concerns of two area residents, Wildwood commissioners Monday night approved the closure of a portion of County Road 569 at the far end of the village's property near Center Hill. Through the Buffalo Hide and Cattle Company, a village's entity, the developer owns the land on both sides of the closure will be at the road's dead end. About 1,265 linear feet of the 18-foot wide road will be closed at the land would revert to the developer. A resolution stated that vehicle traffic on the portion of the road would inhibit the village's expansion. City Manager Jason McHugh said Wildwood would have maintenance costs if the roads weren't closed. Resident Mark Fletcher said, "Pretty and peaceful. Tree-lined road portion is used by area residents for walking and horseback riding. It's used like a multi-use trail. The closure would affect a lot of people." Susie Stockwell said the road would close at her property line. While she doesn't oppose it, she has concerns about vehicles having space to turn around at the dead-end road. Melanie Strickland, the city's planning and development director, said the developer seems willing to work with area residents. When they say the developer, who exactly are we talking about? One of the most prominent local restaurateur families has expanded its footprint once again with the purchase of a multi-million-dollar warehouse property that is just north of the villages. DG Wildwood Warehouse, LLC, purchased the industrial property located within the South Wildwood Industrial Park from Hartpole, Florida Realty for $2.450 million on March 19. State corporate records show the DG Wildwood Warehouse is based in Lady Lake and is registered to the Solomon family, the owners of multiple restaurants in the area. The Warehouse family consists of two industrial warehouse buildings totaling approximately 19,840 square feet located on 2.992 acre parcel, 3073 Northeast 37th Place in Wildwood, just off U.S. Highway 301. Constructed in 2020 and 2021, the buildings at the site feature 21-foot clear ceiling heights and three 15-foot grade level bay doors. The site is currently zoned for heavy industrial use. The South Wildwood Industrial Park is home to several of the most well-known businesses serving the villages, including T&D Pool and Romac. According to an online real estate listing, the facility was sold with existing racking, including providing immediate operational capacity for the family's logistics needs. The most recent real estate acquisition for the Solomon family follows a string of high-profile expansions. The family's portfolio in the villages has grown significantly over the last few years. Jack Solomon, who operates RGM Restaurants and is the owner of the Red Sauce restaurant at Lake Sumter Landing, also owns and operates Glenview Country Club and Mallory Hill Country Club. Soon, Solomon will add Lux Steakhouse and Cellar, which will be located at the Woodlands Championship Golf Course, to his list of properties in the villages. Last year, the Solomon family took over Booster's Bar and Grill and Palmer Legends Country Club. In 2021, the Solomon family took over the Riccardi's Italian Table, situated along Brown Woods Paddock Square. I ask you, what's your thoughts about all these different restaurants being bought up by basically two families? I personally see a problem here because inside the villages, if you got basically two families that owns almost all the major restaurants here, it's like a monopoly, and they can control the prices of what you're going to pay here. A pair from Summerfield landed in jail after allegedly stealing $50 of items from Wawa. An officer responded to Wawa located at 11770 US 301 in Oxford regarding a report of a retail theft at 9:40 p.m. Tuesday, according to a arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. Upon arrival, an employee ran out and pointed at 37-year-old Iris, I'll have to put the name in the picture, I'm not even going to try, and 37-year-old Gabriel Angel Rodriguez in a white Toyota Corolla that was leaving the parking lot. The officer was able to stop the pair on County Road 466 near the intersection of County Road 201. They were told to get out of the vehicle while another officer went back to Wawa to speak to the employee. Law enforcement then learned that Ferraro Sagastum Rodriguez grabbed several items and left the store without paying them. It was $50.73 owed to the store. Ferraro Sagustman invoked her right to remain silent and did not answer any questions, but Rodriguez admitted that the items in a gray plastic bag in the back seat were things he had stolen from Wawa. He stated he was down bad from being fired a few weeks prior, as he barely had any food at home. Both were arrested on charges of petty theft and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center, with their bonds being set at $500 each. A villager told police she was fearful of her husband's release from jail after a domestic attack at their home. The woman from the village of Country Club Hills went Monday to the village's Public Safety Department fire station on Paradise Drive on the historic side of the villages, where she met with a police officer to report an attack, according to the rescue department and the Lady Lake Police Department. The 70-year-old woman said she and her husband, 73-year-old Steve Worley, had been arguing Saturday at their home. She tried to exit the home and go out onto the carport. However, Worley, who stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighs 200 pounds, grabbed her right wrist and forced her back into the home. She later tried to leave in a golf cart, but her husband of 10 years grabbed her neck and throat, again preventing her from leaving the residence. She eventually fled to a friend's home. She deliberately left her phone so her husband could not track her. When the woman met with police on Monday, she described a pattern of violence that began when they lived in Tennessee, where he had been arrested. She said she had been hesitant to call law enforcement because she has feared the possible retaliation she would face when her husband was released from jail. Police photographed bruises on the woman's neck. She noted that the necklace had been broken off her neck during the attack 2 days earlier. Police arrested Worley at his home on a felony charge of battery on a person over the age of 65. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $5,000 bond. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement placed a hold on a man from Nicaragua who was arrested for driving without a license. An officer spotted a silver pickup truck with a completely tinted windshield heading east on Central Parkway at 10:50 a.m. Tuesday, according to the rescue department and the Wildwood Police Department. Due to this, he stopped the vehicle near Marsh Bend Trail and spoke with the driver, 21-year-old Devine Orlando Tinoco Castro.
I probably said that wrong.
He showed clear signs of deception and nervousness, such as avoiding eye contact, speaking very softly, and stuttering. When asked for his driver's license, the officer took note of this and asked him to step out of his vehicle. He then admitted that he had never gotten a driver's license, the report said. A check with dispatch revealed there was no record of Tinoco Castro. He later advised that he had been in the United States for about 2 years and 4 months without a license. He could provide only an identification card from Nicaragua, the report said. Tinoco Castro was arrested on charges of operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. He will be turned over to ICE. Let's have some more news. Let's see how much more money Sumter County wants to spend. Through its continued partnership with Motorola Solutions, the county is modernizing critical infrastructure that supports law enforcement, fire, rescue, and emergency medical services. Improvements include upgrades to the county's radio system, enhanced network, and cybersecurity protections, and increased overall system reliability. Building on its existing next-generation 911 capability, Sumter County is integrating Motorola's NG911 core services to enhance interoperable, expand features, and improve how emergency data is shared across systems and agencies. The county has also implemented new tools to support telecommunicators during emergency calls, including real-time transcriptions and language translations capabilities to help improve communications with callers in high-stress situations. In addition, Sumter County has deployed Motorola Solutions Premier One computer-aided dispatch system within the emergency communication centers, further strengthening dispatch operations and real-time response coordination. These systems improvements directly support operations from the villages. These system improvements directly support operations for the village's Public Safety Department, Sumter County Fire, and EMS and Animal Services, ensuring personnel across the agencies can communicate clearly, coordinate effectively, and respond with appropriate resources during emergencies throughout the county. The agreement establishes a long-term, sustainable approach to maintaining mission-critical systems. Rather than a single large capital expense, the community will invest approximately $29.9 million over the life of the agreement, ensuring ongoing system upgrades, support, and modernizations to meet evolving public safety needs. The project is funded through the county resources, including property tax revenue, which supports essential public safety services. Property tax revenue. If this tax thing that Governor DeSantis is wanting to pass, which I don't think it'll pass 100% the way it's written up, they're going to have to come up with money somewhere else. How are they going to do that? The rumor is they're going to start heavily taxing tourism. As technology and public safety needs continue to evolve, the upgraded system positions Sumter County to adapt and expand capabilities while maintaining a high level of service for our community. As technology and public safety needs continue to evolve, the upgraded system positions Sumter County to adapt and expand capabilities while maintaining a high level of service for the community. You know, as you're here as a resident and you have all these questions about, you don't know about this, you don't know about that, you never heard of this, you never heard of that, all the complaints about it, and we've reported it here that as part of the deed restrictions, and then there's community standards and all these kinds of things, the ARC, all these things that you should know. You have to know, or otherwise you're going to get behind the 8 ball. All it's going to take is one complaint to get everything started. And that's because we are, and always have been, a complaint-based community. And if you don't know what that is, Google it, because I'm telling you, if you don't do things according to your deed restrictions, and each district, their restrictions are different. So if you're going to buy a house in a certain district, go to thevillages.gov, I think it is, and all the restrictions are on there for each and every district. Download them, read them, understand them. If you can't live with them, move on. Here's a meeting so you can ask questions and get them answered for the head of community standards. Villagers are welcome to hear from the head of community standards at an event Monday evening at Tierra del Sol Recreation Center. By the way, the rumor is Tierra del Sol restaurant up there is going to close down. Matt Armstrong, the head of resident services, which oversees community standards, and will be the featured speaker at 7 p.m. Monday at the Community Development 1 Forum. Also appearing at the forum, hosted by CDD1 Supervisor Brian Goodman, will be Amenity Authority Committee member Jim Vacara. That's all there is on the meeting. But go there if you have questions about community standards. Mr. Vacara will be there if you got any questions about the Amenity Authority and how it works and so on and so forth. Go there and ask. Get the right answer from the right person. A sex offender has taken up temporary residence in the villages. Nelson Martin Prieta, 57 of Homestead, registered a temporary address this past week at 1487 Rosedale Way in the Rosedale Villas in the village of Duval, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. He was convicted in 2009 of lewd and lascivious exhibition with a victim under the age of 16 in Miami-Dade County. He is driving a blue 2014 Chevrolet Equinox with license plate number DJ79NV. I don't know if that's a Florida license plate or what that is. I still say at all the family pools here, where you take your grandchildren when they come to visit, there should be a picture board under lock and key with a picture of every sex offender living in this area. That way, if you see them at that pool, you call the law immediately. But nobody's adhered to my warning about it. Nobody's going to memorize all these pictures. All I can do is show them to you. But without them being on the board at the pool, there's no reason for a sex offender like this who preys on children not to go. I haven't read this story yet, but I think you're going to enjoy this story. A little different, but it just shows you that any whack job can move in the villages. A house hunter in the villages allegedly attacked a lawn service worker. A house hunter. He doesn't live here. He has no property here. He basically has no dog in the fight. And he attacked a lawn service worker. Kenneth Brian Herman, 67 of Port Charlotte. Like Port Charlotte. Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda area is an area I go to every now and then. Really, there's not a lot there to see. It's just a beautiful scenic area to live in. We thought about buying a home there years ago before I retired here. I still like it. We go down there once in a while. We like to go to different restaurants, obviously. My favorite is a restaurant that's at the, I can't think of the name of it now, but it's a open air shopping mall. And at the end of it is a Fisherman's Village. That's the name of it. Fisherman's Village. At the end of it down there, there's a restaurant down there, I guess it's still there, called Harpoon Harry's. I used to go down there and get the seafood platter down there. Very, very good. The fishermen's boats and things are docked right there. The chef at that restaurant goes out on the boat and picks out what he wants for the specials that day. So everything that comes off that boat, you're going to be eating it a few hours later. It's a very, very good place to go. Kenneth Bryant, 67, of Port Charlotte, was in a pickup following his realtor, who was in a separate vehicle at about 12:30 p.m. Saturday at Buttonwood Run in the village of Buttonwood, according to the arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. A lawn service worker was pushing a lawnmower to a residence when Herman's pickup came hurrying past him. The man pushing the lawnmower said he threw up his hands, which prompted Herman to roll down his window. The two men began yelling at each other. Herman got out of his pickup and approached the lawn service worker. During the argument, the 230-pound Herman Chest bumped the lawn service worker. He began using his phone to video record the altercation. Another lawn service worker corroborated his co-worker's version of the events. The video also backed up their description of Herman's hostility. Herman was arrested on a charge of battery. The Ohio native was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,000 bond. All right, I got a few stories here that basically they're all updates, but they're updates on people that we've reported in the last week or two. Here's one about people that has been in trouble with ARC 2 or 3 times now about their landscaping, and they were told to change it. They said they were going to. They started to, but they really never ever did it the way that the ARC said it had to be done. A couple in the villages is facing $10,000 in deed compliance fines, claim they were harassed by their neighbors and had 24 cameras pointed at them. Now see, that right there, I don't understand what that's got to do with doing what ARC told you to do. The saga of the problematic property at 4540 Perman Way in the village of DeLuna dates back to 2025 deed compliance hearing when neighbors raised concerns before a special master at the district's office at Brownwood. They said the homeowners, Stephen Walls and Debbie Gammon, had greatly deviated from the landscaping plan they had submitted to the Architectural Review Committee. They claimed the resulting work at the couple's home flooded neighbors' properties, had suspicious chemicals draining into a nearby pond, and created a lot of hard feelings. The home was the subject of another deed compliance hearing earlier this year. Now Walls and Gammons are claiming they are the victims, and they are asking that $10,000 in fines they are facing will be forgiven by the Community Development District 12 Board of Supervisors. The board will consider the matter when supervisors meet at 1 p.m. Monday at Everglades Recreation Center. In an email this past week to the village's District Government Director of Resident Services, Matt Armstrong, Gammon laid out her case. She claimed that the neighbors began harassing them in May of 2025. They said neighbors called the police and reported that Walls and Gammon were playing loud music. When that didn't work, she claimed neighbors filed 6 complaints with community standards about weeds, dead grass, a small statue, a pool enclosure that was too large, pool lights, and their landscaping. No one ever told us that if a neighbor became angry with you that it could cause this type of backlash and harassment. Gammon said it in her email. They paid a landscaping company $2,000 to try to bring the landscaping into compliance. When the landscaper tried to work at their home, Gammon claims 2 neighbors stood at the edge of the property in what she claimed was an attempt to intimidate the workers, one of whom was Mexican and the other was African American. The police were called, but they found no wrongdoing. One of the neighbors placed an oscillating sprinkler on the property so it constantly rained down on the landscapers as they tried to perform their work. The landscaping company owner asked the couple for an additional $1,000 to perform the work due to the alleged harassment. Gammon also claims the neighbor pointed a total of 24 cameras and spotlights at their home, including the master bedroom. I'm sorry. I'm trying to picture this in my mind. Did you go outside and count where the cameras, all of them? Oh, Lord, this case is taking way too long. They got to get tough with these people because these are the people that causes more problems down here than anybody. Okay, about a week or two ago, we did a story about a lady that was caught sleeping at one of our recreation centers. Then they ended up arresting her, I think, for drugs, paraphernalia. She didn't even live here, but she was sleeping at one of our rec centers in her car. Here's an update on her. In Ocala, a woman was arrested with drug paraphernalia after being stopped in an unregistered vehicle near Aldi. An officer on patrol saw 44-year-old Tricia Marie Salih driving a 2006 Chevrolet Trailblazer SUV through the Aldi parking lot located at 3915 East County Road 466, unusually fast at 8:55 p.m. Saturday, according to the Rescue Department of Wildwood Police Department. As he pulled into the parking lot, the vehicle made a sudden U-turn toward the northern exit onto County Road 466, which made him suspicious. Vehicles did not often pull into a parking lot and quickly leave. The officer had also seen another unit parked in the lot, which made it apparent why the vehicle had fled, the report said. The officer continued to watch the vehicle as it pulled onto County Road 466 and failed to obey the stop sign. He subsequently conducted a traffic stop near County Road 107, where Salih apologized because she did not mean to run the stop sign. She and the other occupant were actively smoking cigarettes at the time, a common tactic used to deter police canine units from finding narcotics, the report said. And she's already known for that. It's on the arrest report. The report noted the vehicle was full of smoke to the point where the officer had to ask the pair to put out their cigarettes. This made him more suspicious. He then asked Salih if she lived in Florida, to which she stated yes, although not permanently. She was allegedly seeing if she wanted to officially move to Florida. She had gotten employment a couple of weeks prior, which was a violation of the requirement of a non-resident to register a vehicle within 10 days of accepting a job in the state, the report said. Did you know that? If you come to Florida and get a job, you got out-of-state plates. By the time you're hired, 10 days, they got to have Florida plates on that car. At that point, a canine unit responded to the scene and positively alerted to the odor of narcotics.
Well, I'm shocked.
A search of the vehicle followed and yielded a small plastic baggie with methamphetamine residue and a small glass pipe in Salih's wallet. She denied ownership of both items, but she admitted to recently using methamphetamine, the report says. Salih was arrested on charges of drug equipment, possess or use, and violate non-resident exemptions from registration. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,150 bond. She was also arrested in April when she was found sleeping in her car at a pool in the Villages. And that's her update. And you might recognize the picture of this guy. He was arrested for slapping his daughter for, I think, being drunk in his house. I mean, this is how stupid things are here. His daughter is living in a retirement community with her retired parents. She comes home drunk. They get into an argument for whatever it is. I think she was drunk. He slaps her, and then he ends up getting arrested in his own house because he slapped his daughter who was drunk. I'm sorry. Things just sound topsy-turvy sometimes. A villager has completed an impulse control class after admitting he had slapped his intoxicated daughter during an argument at his home. Timothy Richard Merrill, 65, of the village of Oak Hollow, completed his class in a bid to avoid prosecution on a charge of battery. The daughter told a law enforcement her father had slapped her on February 16th, leading to her arrest. If I was your father, when I came home, you gotta go. I'm telling you to get out and stay out. She said she had been experiencing personal issues and going through a lot. She admitted she had been crying very loudly, prompting her father to become agitated, according to the Rescue Department of Wildwood Police Department. She said they had been arguing when her father slapped her across the left side of her face with an open hand approximately 3 to 4 times. Prior to the altercation, the woman had been arguing with her husband, and Merrill had arrived to retrieve her, taking her to his home. Oh, he took her to his home. Listen, I understand parents wanting to protect their children, but sometimes you gotta let kids grow up. Merrill told police that after he brought his daughter to his home, she began throwing things around the home and trashing the bathroom. Oh, I remember that. That's right. Merrill, who stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighs 210 pounds, admitted he had slapped her across the face, but said the Salt Lake City, Utah, did so to try to get her to calm down. And they arrested him for assault and battery, I guess. And here's our last update. I think this guy was reported like a week or two ago also. He got drunk at, if I remember right, at Arnold Palmer's Country Club. A villager who admitted drinking at a country club has been sentenced after crashing his golf cart at a tunnel. Scott David Morgan, 56, of the village of Belvedere, has lost his driver's license for 6 months, will be on probation for 1 year, and has been ordered to perform 50 hours of community service following his sentencing hearing this past week in Sumter County. A warrant was issued for his arrest after a blood toxicology sample was returned from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement laboratory showing that Morgan had a blood alcohol level of .259 and .261 on October 30th when he crashed his E-Z-GO golf cart into a light pole after traveling at a high rate of speed through a golf cart tunnel on County Road 101 near Southern Trace Plaza, according to the arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. The golf cart overturned in the crash. When deputies arrived at the scene, it appeared that Morgan had been drinking. The Ohio native was emotional, crying, and expressing shame. He admitted he'd been drinking wine at Palmer Legends Country Club. He struggled through field sobriety exercises and had trouble reciting the alphabet. He was taken to a local hospital for evaluation of his injuries, and while there, he agreed to allow a blood draw. The sample was sent to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for testing. A criminal history check revealed he had previously been convicted of driving under the influence in 1999 in Ohio. An unlicensed driver from Mexico was arrested after a traffic stop in Sumter County. A deputy on patrol observed 51-year-old Eladio Jimenez Hidalgo driving an orange 2011.
Sorry if I screwed that name up.
Driving an orange 2011 Dodge sedan without working tag lights in Bushnell around 9:50 p.m. Sunday, according to the arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. He subsequently stopped the vehicle at State Road 471 and Southeast 60th Avenue. Jimenez Hidalgo did not have a driver's license and instead handed over a Mexican ID card. A check of his driving history confirmed that he had never been issued a license. The native of Mexico was arrested on a charge of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license and issued a written warning for a tag light. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center with bond set at $500. Okay, how many holes in ones of golf did we get this week? Looks like 4. Joseph Dawson of the village of Citrus Grove got a hole-in-one on Saturday, April 25th from 134 yards using a 9-iron on the first hole on the Beautyberry Executive Golf Course. The new course in the Eastport area opened this past February. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one, Joseph. Jerry Norris was celebrating his 79th birthday with friends at Bel Air Executive Golf Course. He was 1 over par, arriving at the 6th hole on that beautiful sunny day with a light breeze. He reached in his bag and took his old reliable 8-iron, teed up and ripped a towering shot from 130 yards that landed softly on the green, rolling ever so squarely into the hole. The birthday boy promised drinks for his playing partners at a future date, as it was 8:20 a.m. Oh my God, who gets up that early to play golf? Well, yeah, summer, temperatures, I get it. Okay. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one, Jerry, and happy birthday. Deborah Glenn of the village of Hammock at Finney got a hole-in-one on Saturday, April 18th at hole number 8 at the Mickey Lee Pitch and Putt course. She made the 80-yard shot using an 8-iron. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, Deborah. Villager Daniel Hinman got a hole-in-one on Tuesday, April 28th at the Chula Vista Executive Golf Course. He recently moved to the Villages and decided it was time to reconnect with golfing after receiving a set of starter clubs in February from his wife for his birthday. It had been more than 35 years since he'd golfed, other than sporadically when time allowed. So when the golf ball on hole number 6 at Chula Vista went in after traveling 140 yards, Hinman and his fellow golfers were all pleasantly surprised. Well, congratulations on your hole-in-one, Dan. Remember, beer's on all of you. Congratulations on your hole-in-one, and congratulations to all of you on your holes-in-ones. What a great day. Let's move on to everybody's favorite, letters to the editor. Let's see what everybody else is complaining about. To the editor, our local elected officials state that they are done with trying to solve the Morris Boulevard problem. I would suggest 2 things. You were elected to solve the issues brought before you. And number 2, if you are not part of the solution, then you have become part of the problem. That's sent in by Ray Steinley from the village of Poinciana. Only thing I got to say about all this is I don't have anything to say bad about what he's just said right there, because what he says is exactly true. You don't have to agree. You don't have to like it. But the facts of it is, they're in position to take care of problems, and Morris Boulevard's been a problem for years. People have been killed up there. Not a lot, but you tell me, is one death worth fixing it? Is two deaths worth? How many deaths does it take to fix something? You tell me. Comment below. Thanks for your letter. I appreciate it. To the editor, I'm puzzled. There has been much press about drought and water conservation at the same time the counties that the villages are in approve the developer using a hot water system that wastes significant amounts of water due to the 2 to 5 minutes they delay for hot water. That's sent in by Arthur Poland from the village of Monarch Grove. Well, Arthur, that's been that way for as long as I know. I don't have the new system they got down there. They call it instant hot water, but we all know it's not instant at all. Same thing here. I have a hot water heater. It's out in the garage. Hot water heater. Actually, it's kind of a it's really not the proper name, but anyway, you know what I mean? Like, my water heater's in the garage, like most of them are in my area here. And so even in the kitchen, which isn't that far from the water heater, I turn the water on. It takes a while, hot water, to actually get to the kitchen. If you go into the bathroom, the guest bathroom, which is on the other side of the house, you turn the shower or something on there, it takes longer for the water to get hot in there. Even in our master bathroom, which is literally kind of right behind the water heater, it's not that far, it takes a while for the water to get hot there. Not as long, but the further you're away from the hot water heater, the longer it takes for the water to get hot to that area. Now, somebody told me it was a concrete, because all the water pipes go through our concrete slabs, and the concrete takes the hot water out of the hot water pipe. I don't know if that's true or not. It might be. I don't know. But I can just tell you that I agree with what you're saying. Now, I do know that you can buy an instant hot water. I don't know what the name of it is, but you can get instant hot water hooked up. I believe it's under the sink. Continuous hot water heaters you have down in the southern area, it's all on gas. They do have them for electric. I've talked to some people about it years ago. When I say that, 2 or 3 years ago actually. And they said that the electric continuous hot water heaters are not very functional. That it costs more to run the things than what you actually get out of it. So that's why I don't worry about it. We're all electric where I'm at. You don't have gas here. I just don't get it, and I don't think anybody else got it because of that reason. But I do know that there's something you can buy. It can be installed under the sink. How much room it takes, how many gallons is it, I don't even know that, where you get instant hot water from this unit that they mount under the sink. I haven't really checked into that. I'm just not sure how much room it takes under the sink. And let's face it, with more stuff you put under there when you need to work on your sink, which I have, I've been here 11 years full time and I've had to replace that garbage disposal already to a new one. Well, there's not a lot of room in there to do all this. Now, if you got something else under there, see the problem you're going to get into. And so I'm not too sure I'm going to do that either. But anyway, I appreciate your letter. It is a concern. It is, you are exactly right. I don't understand any of it, but with the water problem that we're having right now, next year will be a totally different season, I'm sure. You know, droughts come, droughts go. Thanks for the letter. Okay, I think that's going to be the news for this week. I do appreciate each and every one of you for coming to the news and watching the news. If you do watch the news and you do enjoy this kind of content, please put a comment below. Subscribe. That's the number one thing, subscribe. There's also another thing they've got on there. I can't remember what it's called now. Hype. H-Y-P-E. There's a hype button below the video. You can hype it. You got me on all this stuff. YouTube just makes it more and more difficult. So anyway, it's not your problem, it's my problem. I'm just letting you know that things get changed all the time, and when they get changed, I have to change. I have no choice. I get perturbed with it myself. If you're not a member of Patreon, for $2 a month, you get all this early. And you get all this with no commercials whatsoever. I don't need a commercial on Patreon because I got your $2 a month. The levels on there are 2, 5, 10, 15, and 25. You can join any of them. The reason why I say $2 is because everybody gets the same thing. So just join for $2 or $5 or whatever you want, whatever you think it's worth. But on there also, there's some other things you get that nobody else will get. You'll get a Discord link to my members only Discord. I say that because you got to be a Patreon member in order to get the Discord link. That's my suggestion, and everybody on there is either a village resident, full-time, part-time, or people that are in my channel because they want to get information about the villages and everything. So we started the Discord thing for several reasons. The two biggest ones is, one, you can talk to other people that live in the villages and get their opinions about certain things. My opinion would mean nothing. Give you my opinion. I'm more than glad to do that. I've been doing it now for 11 years here. Actually 14, but I'm going to say a long time. So now you can go on there and get other people's opinions about things, about lawn care, furniture, best furniture, restaurants, where to go, not to go, all these different things. And people get on there and they make friends. They meet each other all the time. They go out to lunch. They go out for breakfast, things like that. So that's what's on Discord, and it's basically Discord's 24/7 for you. And there's a lot of things on Discord you can do, but you got to learn how to do it. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but people on there have been on there long enough that all you got to do is ask, and they'll probably give you directions exactly how to work. Once you do it once, then you'll always know how to do it. You can do a live chat on there with each other, private live chat. I won't see it. Nobody else will see it. You can do a live private live chat. I don't know, there's some other stuff you can do on there, but I don't pay much attention to it. But the biggest thing is, the number two reasons I started is, you can be a Patreon member of mine, but only I can post videos on Patreon. It's for you, just like my YouTube channel. Only I can post videos on my YouTube channel for you. But on Discord, you guys can post pictures. You can post videos, but I think it's limited on how long it can be there, on there for each other. You can do all kinds of stuff, and that's the main reason why we got it started. One, so you can ask questions to other people, and two, you can post videos and pictures of your own on there for other people to see. You don't need my permission to do that. You only need to be a member. So, hope that helps. Sponsors, I got them on here. You guys seen them 100 times, but they're always on here or there. Support them if you can. Cartwork. There might be a little confusion about what Cartworks is. They're a custom cart factory. So if you've got something on your golf cart you'd like to have done that you can't find somebody to do it, Cartworks will do it. So if you want any work done on your golf cart, they can come to your house. You can go there. You can take stuff to them. They'll fix it for you or do whatever you want done to it. And then you can go over and pick it back up. It's just in Ocala. It's not a very hard place to find at all. And the people are super, super nice, super great. And when you get there, tell them a Skip said hi. That's the only way they know that their sponsorships of my channel even work. Give them a call. They're great people. They got a website. It's all on the video. So go there and look. And with that, I just want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks for joining our channels if you do. We do appreciate it more than you know. And with that, I'm just going to get out of here and say, be well, stay safe, stay aware, be aware.
And don't leave your key in that golf cart.
This week's news is brought to you by my YouTube and Patreon members.